So what we're going to do is division with decimals, and our problem is 45.67 divided by 1.23. So you can see here that our divisor and our dividend both have decimals. So we're going to figure out how to divide these numbers. So we want to rewrite this sentence into our division setup with the division house. So we know that the divisor goes on the outside because it's the number that's dividing into the dividend. So 1.23. There's my division house, and our dividend goes on the inside. 45.67. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we need to move this decimal in our divisor over to the right until it makes our divisor a whole number. So 1, 2 spaces, and we can rewrite our decimal there. Makes this 123. And now this is really important, and this is where a lot of people forget this step. But 123 dividing into 45.67 is not the same as our original problem, so we need to do the same thing to the dividend that we did to the divisor. So we moved the decimal over 2 spaces to the right in the divisor, and so we need to do the same for a dividend. So 1, 2 spaces makes this problem 123 dividing into 4,567. Okay, so now we can start dividing. I'm going to rewrite it just because I like to be really neat. 6, 7. Okay, and since the decimal is at the end here, I'm going to write it at the end and on top of my division house where it is, just because I want to. All right, so 123, how many times can 123 go into 4? 0. 123 times 0 is 0, and 4 minus 0 is 4. Now we are bringing down the next digit in our dividend to be the second digit in the remainder. 123, how many times does it go into 45? Again, that's 0. And 45 minus 0 is 45. Now we're going to bring this down, the next digit in the dividend, to make this 456. Okay, so now this is a number that 123 can actually go into. So if we round this down to about 120 and round this down to about 450, then we know that 3 times 123 or 120 is probably 360, but I don't think that I could fit another 123 in between 360 and 456, so we're going to try 123 times 3 and just see if that gives us a quotient that is smaller than 456, but that no more 123s can fit into. So 123 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. And just to make sure, we are going to subtract 369 from 456 and make sure that it's smaller than 123. If it's 123 or more, then I know I can fit it in more times than 3. So 456 minus 369. 16 minus 9 is 7. 14 minus 6 is 8. And 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, so we know that there's a difference of 87 between 369 and 456, and 87 is smaller than 123, so I know that my answer of 3 123 going into 456 3 times was correct because I can't fit any more 123s in there. So now I'm going to do 456 minus 369, which I already know is 87. And I still have digits in my dividend, so I'm going to bring this down and do 877. So I can make a broad statement that maybe since 123 went into 456 3 times, and 800 is twice 400, I can maybe say that 123 can go into 877 6 times. And let's test that out over here. So 123 times 6. So 6 times 3 is 18, 12, 13, 6, 7, 38. And I actually think I can fit one more 123 in there. So let's see. Plus 3 is 11, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I can. So 123 times 7 is 861. So I know that 123 can fit into 877 7 times. 861, 7 minus 1 is 6, 1, and 0, with a remainder of 16. So instead of leaving this as a remainder, I'm going to put a 0 after the decimal in my dividend because 4,567.0 is the same as 4,567, and I already put my decimal on the top here, and I'm going to now bring this down to be 160. I know that 123 can go into 160 one time, and I can't fit any more 123s between 123 and 160. So 160 minus 123 is 37. And I can actually add another 0 to make 370. And since I already know that 123 times 3 was 369, and that is pretty close to 370, then it's going to be 3 and 369 with a remainder of 1. And so I know that even if I keep going with the zeros, so I could put a 0 here and drop it down, but 123 can't go into 10, so this number would be 0, and it would round, any numbers after that would round down to 0.13 anyway, so I'm just going to keep it at 2 decimal places. So our answer, 45.67 divided by 1.23 equals 37.13. Yay!